How's it going, guys? Serious here. Today we're going to be talking about Waystones, how to craft them and how to make the most profit out of them. Now I crafted a bunch of them already, but I have some normal ones right here. I'm gonna alch them and then I'm gonna exalt them until they all have 6 mods. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk a bit about the modifiers that we actually want. Now Waystones can have up to 6 modifiers, 3 of them being prefixes and 3 of them being suffixes. Prefixes are responsible for the quantity and rarity of items on our maps, as for the rarity and density of the monsters. Now the suffixes are responsible for everything that's negative in our maps, such as monsters have more elemental resistances, monsters deal critical damage, or even area patch with shock ground. Now those suffixes are responsible for the Waystone drop chance. The higher tier the suffixes, the more drop chance we have. For example, here we have 270 and here we have 315. But we're not here to talk about the suffixes, we're here to talk about the prefixes. Now the top 3 prefixes to have on our maps are number 1, quantity of items, number 2, number of rare monsters, and number 3, rarity of items. Now we are searching for Waystones that have a combination of 2 of those 3 modifiers at least, and in a perfect world we can even get all 3. However, that would be rare. However, you're gonna tell me how the hell we're gonna search for all of this in here. We're gonna type quantity, sort that out, see which one has rarity and rare monsters. This is a very annoying task to do, but luckily there's a solution. If you go to the website right here, POE2.re, we can build our own regex right here. There are all the mods that we can choose from, and we can copy that and paste that right here, and it will highlight the maps that we actually want. Now this website actually works for vendors as well, and tablets and relics. I will be linking this website down below. Now let's build our regex. We want to go down here and select the increase quantity and rarity hybrid mod, the number of rare monsters right here, and the increased rarity of items in the area. Now that we've chosen the mods that we want, you can even add here their percentages. And finally, on our suffix side, you can add the mods that break your build. For example, I do not run area patch with burning ground, it's very annoying to me. We're gonna go ahead and copy that, go ahead here and paste it. As you can see, only one has been highlighted because I put a high number of rare monsters. This is our best map right here. We're gonna go again into the website and filter for lower rolls. Now the thing that I'm going to do too is maybe remove the number of rare monsters and just keep those 2 and put a high percentage here. Remember, you're not looking for only a combination of 3, you can go for a combination of 2 of them. In a perfect world you want 3. But this is unlikely to happen every time. So let's go ahead and remove, for example, rare monsters and put here rarity of 100. We're gonna go ahead and copy that and paste it right here. As you can see, 2 more have been highlighted. We're gonna set them aside. Those are the best maps that we have so far. I will sort everything and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've sorted all the ones that I need right here. Now you might get more hits than me, but I keep my numbers very high so I can profit to the maximum from my maps. It's up to you what you want to do with your own maps. Now that everything is sorted, we are done with step 1. Now if your build isn't quite as strong yet, you can stop at step 1, but if your build can handle more, you can stay around for step 2. Here we have the distilled emotions. Those are the currency from delirium. We can apply them to the map and it will give them unique modifiers, and as for rendering them, exponentially harder. Now let's take our best map right here. We can right click on our emotions. The window will open up, just add your map and add the emotion. Now each distilled emotion will have a unique modifier that applies to the map. You can add 3 of the same color, or you can even mix and match. For example, the paranoia will add, each paranoia will add 15% more rare monsters in your map. If you put greed in, it will add 8% increased rarity. Now the best emotion to add is the Distilled Paranoia. If you cannot afford Paranoia, you might want to use Greed, but trust me, Paranoia are very good, and they are very worth it. Now careful here, the more paranoias that I add, the more delirious the player becomes. Now the delirious modifier makes that the monsters take less damage and you deal less damage. However, it will render the map exponentially better in terms of loot, but your character will be much weaker. So I typically don't have a problem using 3 of them. I'll add 3 of them right here. We have 45% more rare monsters, and we're gonna instill the map. As you can see right here, we have now a perfectly good map to run that has about 100% more rare monsters, 27% quantity, and 34% rarity. This is a very good map to run. However, this is very hard. You can get one shot easily. It's up to you and your build to know what you can run. You can even put only 1 distilled emotion, or you can even put 2. Now I have here for you a perfectly rolled map. It has the 3 modifiers, and all of them have nice rolls. Now moving on to step 3. Now step 3 is very optional. You can corrupt your maps for more value. However, this is very risky. Corrupting a map has many effects. One of them might be downgrading your map's tier. One of them might be removing all the suffixes and leaving you with a bunch of prefixes. However, it can also have a lot of benefit. It can upgrade your map from a tier 14 to a tier 15, or tier 15 to a tier 16, and it can even remove all the suffixes and leave you with a bunch of prefixes. And also it has the option of not changing anything. I personally do not corrupt the very good ones. However, if I have medium rolled maps, I might consider corrupting them. However, I don't do that a lot of times. Just a reminder, you cannot modify your maps after using a Val Orb on them. So if you have a good map like this right here and you want to add Distilled Emotion to it, you need to use the paranoias on it, and afterwards you need to corrupt it. Now I have for you here an example of every outcome that can happen when applying a Val Orb to a Waystone. Here we have a map that only has prefixes. As you can see, there is no plus percentage of Waystones. Here we have a tier 16 map. Here we have a map that has no change to it whatsoever. Here we see a map that only has suffixes. As you can see, it's plus 615% Waystone drop chance. And here we see a map that has been downgraded to a tier 14. Now here's an additional tip for you. When mapping and come across a citadel, you want to use Waystones of this kind right here that only have suffixes, because the higher the Waystone drop chance is, the more fragments you will drop. However, I do not need to say that this is a very hard Waystone. The boss can one-shot you. And finally, I need to say that do not be afraid to test the modifiers out, see how many delirium layers you can handle, and what emotions work best for you, for your budget. You can experiment right now. The league is almost over. In almost a month we will be getting a new league and a freshly set economy, so do not be afraid to test things out right now. This is the perfect time to do so. Do not forget, item quantity is king, but if you don't have that, you can just go with a high rarity roll plus rare monsters either from your mods or from the paranoias. Just aim for 2 of those 3 modifiers and maybe add some percentages of rarity in your gear and you'll be fine. Use the best emotion, which is the paranoia. I would strongly recommend that. This was the first episode of a playlist I'm working on that targets new players and help them understand and craft their endgame. I hope this video was helpful for you. Now as always, like if you like, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.